Today I'll share some different tips and tricks for classic Season of Discovery. During the Blood Moon event, you cannot speak to your Flight Master and fly away. But did you know you can log out and log back in instantly and have a 5-second window where the NPC will also be friendly? This should give you enough time to also fly away, even though the event is active. Just remember, all the different things that I share with you in this guide could potentially also end up being hotfixed. If you have a cooldown on your Hearthstone, then what you can do is to enter a nearby raid or dungeon. In the dungeon or raid, you will then be using the macro that I use right here. I will also leave it in the description below the video. It will automatically invite someone that is not even in the game and make you leave the party at the same time. After 1 minute, you will then be taken out of the dungeon to where your Hearthstone is also bound. Doing this trick will also cause your Hearthstone to once again have a 1 hour cooldown, but if there were already a cooldown, you definitely save some time. In Phase 2, they introduced new supply crates that allow us to also reach the Vert with Defection, but what I've also discovered when I reached the Vert was that there was no new rewards. So as of right now, I also feel like it's pointless, unless there's of course gonna be new rewards in the future, or maybe even when we get to Exalted. At this point, you have probably already obtained your own cozy sleeping bag. But did you know you can invite someone else into the party and all of a sudden they can also use your sleeping bag? After spending 3 minutes in the cozy sleeping bag, the total amount of experience gained will also be increased by 3% for 2 hours. If you would like to get this yourself, I've made a complete guide and you can find this in the description below this video. When you're leveling up, or maybe even when you're farming gold at max level, you'll probably get yourself a lot of silk cloth. Instead of windering this for 30 silver, then what you can do is to turn 1 stack into a lot of bandages. These bandages you can then winder, but this time for 40 silver. So you could do it while you go AFK and come back and have made a profit of 10 silver for every single stack. As you're leveling up, you might also get yourself a wall buff. This wall buff you can then store in a Chronoboom Displacer, and I always do this if I have to fly for a far distance, so I don't end up spending a lot of the duration simply just by flying. No, the next time I land at the Flight Master, I can then reactivate the wall buff. To get yourself a Chronoboom Displacer, you just have to find a nearby reagent vendor. You might have tried this before, you all of a sudden also need to change continent in order to quest in another zone, or maybe to go to a certain raid or dungeon. What you can do is ask someone in a main city to sign you up to a specific battleground. Because they are the leaders, you're also going to be taken to where they signed you up to the BG. In this case I was taken from Booty Bay to the Nasus. And don't worry, this won't really harm the battleground group. When you leave, someone else will immediately also be invited to join the battle. For more content like this in the future, or anything about Season of Discovery, or maybe even Classic WoW, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell.